In computer science, there is a classic system glitch known as an infinite loop. It happens when a piece of code keeps running the exact same sequence of instructions over and over again because it lacks a clear condition that tells it to stop. It drains the system's memory, overheats the processor, and eventually crashes the machine completely. Most of us live our everyday lives inside human infinite loops without even realizing it. You hit a moment of stress or boredom. Your brain gets stuck running an automated sequence it doesn't know how to exit, burning up your mental energy on a loop you didn't consciously choose. If your life currently feels laggy, heavy, and deeply misaligned, you need to realize that your system isn't permanently broken. It is simply caught in an unhandled execution cycle. To break it, you have to do what any good developer does when a system is completely locked up. You have to force a total factory reset. When you first unbox a brand new computer or smartphone, it runs incredibly fast. Commands execute instantly, applications open in milliseconds, and the battery lasts for days because the hard drive only carries what is absolutely necessary for the system to function. But over months and years of usage, that performance begins to degrade as the device accumulates what engineers call bloatware. These are the pre-installed programs, hidden temporary files, and background apps that you rarely use, yet they continuously sit in the background, consuming your active random access memory and causing the hardware to run hot. Humans accumulate psychological bloatware in the exact same way. Over time, you accidentally install expectations from other people, obligations you never wanted to agree to, micro-distractions that shatter our focus, and automated negative habits that run quietly in the subconscious. When you find yourself struggling to stay motivated or constantly feeling exhausted by mid-afternoon, it is usually not because you are lazy or lacking in capability. It is simply because your internal mental RAM is completely occupied by background bloatware, leaving your brain with no processing power left to give to the things that actually matter to you. Whenever you realize our lives are lagging or sliding out of control, our natural instinct is to try and optimize. You download a brand new habit tracking app, you buy a complex morning journal, you set strict new rules for your diet, or you read yet another self-help book, hoping for a quick fix. In the technology world, this is the equivalent of trying to fix a heavily corrupted operating system by throwing more software updates and minor patches at it. But if the core system framework is already unstable and running hot, installing a massive heavy new application is only going to trigger a total system crash. This is exactly why most New Year's resolutions and sudden bursts of lifestyle changes fail within the first 2 weeks. You are trying to build a highly optimized, clean daily routine directly on top of a messy, corrupted psychological foundation. You cannot patch your way out of a lifestyle that is fundamentally overwhelmed by chaos. Before you can successfully install any new habits, routines, or long-term goals, you have to take a step back, clear the schedule, and focus entirely on cleaning the drive from the bottom up. Step 1. Back up your core variables. Before a software developer formats a corrupted hard drive and presses the erase button, they perform a critical safety step. They back up the irreplaceable data. They isolate the essential files, photos, and project assets that define the system's purpose, ensuring they aren't lost in the purge. To execute a human factory reset, you must do the exact same thing by identifying and protecting your core lifestyle variables. If you stripped away your social media presence, your current job title, your material possessions, and all the external noise, what are the 3 or 4 foundational pillars that actually define your well-being and identity? For one person, it might be physical vitality through daily movement. For another, it could be deep, uninterrupted creative focus, or protecting time for close family relationships. Write these non-negotiable variables down clearly on a physical piece of paper. Everything else outside of this tiny circle is considered non-essential background data. By defining your core parameters before you begin clearing out the clutter, you ensure that you know exactly what you are keeping safe, while the rest of the systemic noise is deleted around you. Step 2. Boot into safe mode, the environmental wipe. When an operating system is experiencing severe internal errors, technicians will boot the computer into what is known as safe mode. This diagnostic state forces the machine to start up using only the bare minimum, essential drivers and code required to run, while completely shutting down all third-party applications, internet connections, and non-essential background scripts. To factory reset your life, you need to deliberately schedule a temporary, 24 to 48-hour human safe mode. This requires a radical environmental wipe, where you deliberately sever your nervous system from its typical daily inputs to stop old automated scripts from executing. For one weekend, lock your smartphone in a drawer, strip your physical desk space down until it is entirely empty, pause your social obligations, and step away from digital entertainment feeds entirely. Letting your mind run on bare minimum power creates a profound psychological vacuum. It cuts off the constant spike of daily notifications and micro-decisions, lowering your internal temperature and allowing your mind to cool down enough so that you can finally hear yourself think clearly again. Step 3. Intentional reinstallation of your OS. This phase is the true turning point of the entire process, and it is where most people accidentally fail. When a computer finishes formatting, the drive is entirely empty, which can initially feel strange or uncomfortable. In life, when people experience a quiet, empty day after a period of intense burnout, they get anxious and immediately rush to download all of their old bad habits and distractions just out of sheer familiarity. This time, you must handle the reinstallation process with extreme engineering intent. As you gradually bring your life back online, you do not let a habit, a digital app, or a daily commitment back into your schedule simply because you used to do it in the past. Every single routine you choose to adopt must pass a strict system architecture check against the core variables you backed up in step 1. If you decide to reinstall an app on your home screen or add an hour of work to your evening, it must explicitly serve your baseline health, focus, or values. If it is just filler code that generates background anxiety, you reject the installation, building your new day line by line with absolute precision. Wiping the psychological slate completely clean is an intimidating prospect because an empty hard drive looks terrifyingly blank. It forces you to confront the reality that much of what kept you busy and stressed was just junk data running on autopilot. But a blank drive also represents the ultimate form of creative freedom. It gives you the total personal agency to consciously choose exactly what your lifestyle, focus, and environment will look like from this moment forward. You do not have to carry the heavy momentum of every poorly written script, bad habit, or accidental commitment you have ever run in your past. You always possess the absolute authority to step back, locate the source code of your daily choices, and execute a hard reboot on your routines. Stop letting an outdated lifestyle script control your mental processing speed. Take control of your environment and hit the reset command today. System reboot is now complete.